Not a bad end to the first half for Sacramento. They were down double digits much of the half, Ryan, and it's now only a 4-point game. And, I look at a lot of positives for Sacramento. Fox really didn't do anything. Barnes, in 17 minutes doesn't have a point. I mean, even Sabonis is he's having a good game, but he's not going like crazy. And you're only down by 4.
Hey, Grant, I'm totally okay with it. And when the Kings have won in this last 4-game winning streak, Grant, they've only been shooting 36.4% from beyond the arc. When they win, they've been shooting 40% from beyond the arc. So if they can start hitting the 3-ball, there's a lot to look forward to in the second half.
Boy, how great was Keegan Murray in that first half, huh? Wow.
Grant, he's special. He's really developed in the last couple months. What have you seen? What jumped out the most to you?
First and foremost, his demeanor. He doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. He's very steady. I love his personality. But I got to tell you, what sticks out the most to me is, he's not going to do it offensively every night, but his defense every night is there. And I think that probably has stuck out to me more than anything.
And he is sticking out on a team where he's guarding the toughest guy most nights on defense. Yeah. Might not be every possession, but at least one possession, he's going to be on that guy.
Yeah. So, again, I have mixed feelings about whether the Kings are going to win this game or not. And the reason for that is more of the opponent than them. Like, Miami's too good to lose this many games in a row. Do you know what I mean by that? I mean,
100%.
They're going to win one of these games. So even though I like where the Kings are at, despite Fox not doing very well, I still don't have a good feeling about this game. Let's bring in Jerry Reynolds. Jerry loves Keegan Murray. Jerry, I mean, what else can you say about Murray? He was outstanding in that first half.
Best player on the floor. And really, he's the reason the Kings are in this game. It would be a huge margin. So, both ends. Keegan not just making shots, but he's becoming a real deal. There's no doubt. The Kings have got to get better games from certainly Barnes and Fox and Sabonis. I thought Sabonis came alive a little bit there, middle of the second quarter, but you've got to get more. And then the bench is just being dominated by the Heat bench. Yep. So that to get a win, they've got to play them even here in the second half.
Jerry, I was telling Ryan, I don't have a good feeling about this game, and it's more about the opponent than the Kings. I look at Miami's roster, I look at their team, I look at their coaching, and I'm thinking to myself, gee, they've already lost 7 in a row. They're so close to winning, and that's the part of this game that makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is a team that went to the NBA Finals. It's actually a little more talented version of that team. They've actually got more talent on this roster than they had last year. So, and they went through some struggles last year. So but I mean, hey, there's something to say about the Heat culture. I mean, they got a great coach, Pat Riley, the best general manager, president in the league, probably. And this is a really good team that's been through a rough patch. Is why you need to be scared to death.
Yep. Ryan, speaking of a rough patch, De'Aaron Fox, boy, I mean, what an atypical first half for him. 1 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 3 from downtown. Did make his free throws, but I mean, he really didn't do a whole lot in that first half. He only had 2 assists. It's not a good half.
Yeah, he rebounded the ball okay, 4 rebounds, so at least he's doing something. But the one thing about the Heat is they're really good at plugging the paint. So De'Aaron's had a couple of good looks. I think if he can get to that second level, not necessarily at the rim, but where he can get that 5, 6, 7 foot floater, I think he'll be in business in the second.
This is funny. It says, Grant, you're scared by statistics. No, I'm not scared by statistics. I'm scared by trends. I look at trends, and Miami, you're not going to find a Miami Heat team that loses 8 in a row very often. That's a trend. Anyway, Jerry, go ahead. You were saying?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, and that scares me. I look at the roster, the players, not just all-stars, but NBA finalists and all that. But anyway, I think the Miami zone really did hurt the Kings for a while there. I mean, they finally started going inside, playing inside out a lot more. Where Sabonis, whether he started scoring a little bit, but more importantly, kicked it out for some shots. But having said that, that's hurt Fox, because they basically have him going in when he does penetrate. He's penetrating to a big guy already there, and so I think he's got to be a little more careful. Maybe take that pull-up shot a little quicker. At the 12, 15-foot range instead of the 7, 8-foot range. I think that the help can't get to him as easy.
Jerry, you got fans from Australia. Jerry, I'm a huge fan from Australia. Hopefully you see this. He's seen it. He's Jerry's world famous. It doesn't even faze him anymore.
All I can say is you got great taste. Don't tell anybody tell you otherwise.
Oh my, Ryan, what's the final score going to be tonight?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna say Sacramento 117, Miami 116.
What do you think, Jerry?
Well, I'm kind of like Ryan. I don't use logic sometimes, but I'm saying the Kings 115, Miami 111.
All right, I think it's going to be 113 to 112. I think it's going to come down to the final possession, and I think Miami is going to win only because they have to win. I mean, they've lost 7 in a row. They're not going to lose 8 in a row very often, but I agree with both of you. I think it's going to be a very fun second half, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of separation. I really don't. I like the way the Kings ended up the final few minutes of that second quarter. I mean, they were down by double digits most of that, second quarter, and Jerry's right. I mean, the reason why this game's a 4-point game is because of Keegan Murray.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm hoping. I think the best thing for the Kings: stay close, and let the home team feel all the pressure and maybe gag a little bit.
Jerry, assuming, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you, that Miami runs the same amount of zone in the second half, what are some alternatives to free up Keegan Murray to get him some additional looks other than just the spot up 3?
Well, I do think you've got to attack it, go inside, get it to Domas, let him draw people, and then Keegan can, certainly he can slide down to open areas. That's really what it's about, finding the open areas, because if you drop that second guy in the zone to cover Domas, which they'll do, and Domas finds guys, so Keegan has to realize, well, where you were open when the play started, you won't be open there as it goes. So you got to slide down, find open areas.
Is this the same Harrison Barnes that we've seen on this trip? I mean, he played 17 minutes, did not make a shot, does not have an assist, and only has 1 rebound. Yeah,
he isn't right now. I mean, you've just, for the Kings to win, Harrison has to come alive here in the second half. He has really got to be a factor, and they've got to find a way to get him involved. I think especially, against that zone, sometimes you can step Domas out a little higher and slide Harrison Barnes in underneath him. I think they can get some baskets in there.
Jerry,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Jerry, you could almost play Harrison at that middle spot, that free throw line spot in his own.
You could. Yeah, at times, if especially I think when if Domas in the game, I'd do that. Put him there because he can make plays. Plus, he can attack the basket from there. But I think with Harrison, I think they can be a little more creative than they are.
Jerry will be with us tomorrow at 4:00. We didn't have a show today on the typical Wednesday because of the early start time. So we'll all be doing this again tomorrow. Jerry Reynolds will join us here at 4:00. The Kings will then, after this game, they'll take on Indiana, who, by the way, plays in New York tomorrow against the Knicks. So the Kings are catching the Pacers on a back-to-back, and it will be the 3rd game in 4 nights for Indiana. The good news for the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton did come back in the game did start last night for the Pacers in their loss against the Celtics. So that is the schedule upcoming. So, again, it's a 4-point game. I like the way the Kings battled to get back into this game. It looked like Miami was really controlling things. But I think we all would agree the Kings don't win this game if De'Aaron Fox doesn't get going, right? Can we say that?
Yeah, they've got Fox has got to be Fox here in the second half, and we know he can do that. He's just about always better in second halves of games.
Yep.
They'll definitely need that, and as you pointed out too, I mean, they've got to get something from Harrison. He doesn't have to have a huge game, but he's got to really be a factor here, I think. And like I said, the bench has got to do something besides just use minutes. They got to do something.
Yeah, Jerry, how was Cracker Barrel?
Awesome. Awesome.
That's
That's
chicken and biscuits.
Oh, the joy is still in me. So, so by the way, since we're doing the show tomorrow, Grant, that helps me because I have one more day to prepare. So I'll really have good stuff for you.
Well, I appreciate that. And, now that you're 80, you need that extra day to prepare. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I need more than a day. I need way more than a day.
Hey, I mean, Jerry, what can I say? You are what you are. You're 80 years old. What can I tell you?
Yeah, when you 8 decades, that says it all.
Hey, but Jerry, I got to tell you, I hope I'm as mentally sharp as you at 80. I mean, right, Ryan?
Well,
we hope we can.
Oh, yeah.
We hope we have our mind right at 80.
Well, I hope you are too, but I'm not counting. I wouldn't count on for either one of you, but but I hope.
I know I won't be as good looking as you at 80, Jerry, but I'm hoping that I'm mentally as sharp as you. You're a sex symbol still.
Well, when you're a pretty man, you're a pretty man. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Pretty man.
Here's one for you from Connor. I hope I'm as mentally sharp as Jerry when I turn 32 this year.
100%.
Yeah, well,
nailed it.
I think you won't have any trouble to maintain and being as mentally sharp as me. That'll be an easy goal for you.
Wow. Jerry, I'm thinking, maybe when I'm in town next week, we can play one more set of tennis, okay?
No. I can't even see well enough to cheat you properly.
You can't. Well, I'll allow you to wear special goggles. You know what I'm saying, Jerry?
Hey, I'll tell you guys what. I will fly Baki out. He can chair ref the match. I'll bring the cigars. We're good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You'd be carting an 8 decades old person out in a box before.
Yeah, bring a casket with you too, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And you might need two. Come to think of it, Ryan.
Hey, Jerry and I did some stupid things when we played tennis. We sometimes go out in the middle of the Sacramento summer heat wave, at 3 in the afternoon when it was 107, 108, and there were some times where we would look at each other and go, "What the hell are we doing?" And we go, "We can't do this today."
It was always one of those things we'd set the time, and of course didn't really think, and then get out there and say, "What the hell are we out here for?"
And we played at the I think it was the Natomas Racket Club, and there were like 17 courts, and we were the only ones out there.
Ones out there. Yeah, you didn't have tough time getting the court during those times.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Really?
this club really likes us. They clear all the courts out so the fans won't bother us.
Yeah, those were some days, Jerry. Those were some days.
Yeah, they were. And then actually I kind of wish we could have them again, but that'll even pickleball's too much for me now. So there's not much left. As long as I can walk, though, as long as I can get out there and give 110%.
Ryan, Jerry had that slice, man. He just sliced that damn ball, so there wasn't a lot of pace on it, and it used to drive me crazy. He knew if he put it in my wheelhouse and my forehand, I was going to win the point. Ryan,
that wasn't really strategy. I was just so damn weak. That's as hard as I could hit it. So I was going to say, it exactly wasn't power tennis. I didn't look like Djokovic out there. I'll tell you that.
As long as the ball gets over the net, Jerry. That's all.
Well, that was my goal. Just keep hitting it till it doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself. Give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll hopefully give the Kings a chance in the second half. Jerry, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 4:00.
Can't wait. See you guys.
All right. Take care. And Ryan, we'll be back here with everyone else in a little more than an hour.
Can't wait.
All right. Enjoy the second half, everybody. Thanks for being here.